Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Dad's Gone Crypto. Now, little disclaimer before we get started here today. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you what to buy, sell, or invest in. This is for education and perspective only. You are responsible for your own decisions, so remember that. But what I am going to do today is challenge the way you think about risk. Most people think crypto is risky. They hear it's too volatile. You could lose everything. It's basically gambling. And on the surface, yeah, that sounds pretty reasonable, honestly. But here's the problem. Most people never stop to ask what they're comparing it to. Because what if the thing you think is safe is actually where the real risk lives? What if your savings account isn't protecting you at all? Your retirement plan isn't enough, and the system you trust is slowly working against you. Not all at once, but quietly over time. And that's what makes it dangerous, because today isn't about convincing you to go all in on crypto. It's about asking a much better question. Are you already taking more risk than you realize? So let's slow it down a little bit and define what risk really is, because most people get this wrong. We've been conditioned to believe that risk is volatility. If something moves a lot, it's risky. If it looks stable, it's safe. That's why Bitcoin equals risky, cash equals safe, 401k equals responsible. But that definition falls apart when you zoom out a little bit, because volatility is really just movement. Risk is loss of purchasing power over time. So why don't we try a little real life example, right? You put $10,000 in a savings account, let's say, right? Or maybe a CD, right? That you're going to let stay in there for 10 years. And maybe you're getting a great rate of 3%, right? Because that's about the going rate right now. And 10 years later, that $10,000 is worth only a little over $13,000. Yeah, you added around 30% to your savings, but because of inflation, everything around you doubled in price. Did you take a risk? Well, I don't know. You put it in the safety of a US-backed savings account, right? So seems like no risk there, right? But the fact of the matter is you did take a risk because you ended up losing, right? You just didn't see it happening. And that's the trick. The most dangerous risks are the ones that feel stable. That savings account backed by the full faith of the US government really sounds risk-free, but at the end of the day, you end up with way less purchasing power than you had to begin with. So let's walk through kind of the traditional playbook that most dads have been following, right? You go to school, you get a job, you save money, maybe invest in some index funds, try to retire at 65. On paper, it looks solid, right? But why don't we talk about a few problems with that? Problem one, inflation is constant. And even at a modest 3% inflation rate, like we're around where we're seeing right now, your money still loses half its value in 24 years. And let's be honest, real inflation is often a whole lot higher than that. When you look at housing, food, healthcare, education, these all seem to be going up at a way faster rate than 3%. So problem number two, if you want better than those 3% savings account returns so that you could try to keep up with or maybe beat inflation, you got to put it in something a little riskier, right? So maybe you're just in some index funds or something and you're looking for those guaranteed 7 to 8% returns, right? And you can definitely get that. So those average 7 to 8% returns might not actually keep up with inflation anyway. And if they do, there's still a timing factor, right? Because there's been plenty of time in the stock market where we didn't hit those 7 or 8% returns year over a decade. There's been plenty of times where you might be ready for your retirement and you kind of hit the bad timing there and you're going to have to wait a few years for those returns to actually come through. So that average return probably doesn't really save you there. Now, problem number three kind of goes along with that, and that's that your timeline is actually fragile. Your entire plan depends on consistent income, no major emergencies, no job loss, no market collapse at the wrong time, and that's a lot of assumptions. This isn't a safe system. It's a system that works if absolutely nothing goes wrong. But now, why don't we talk about the biggest risk of all, and that is doing nothing. Because a lot of people think, well, if I just avoid crypto, avoid Bitcoin, I'm being responsible. But that's not neutral. That's a position, and it comes with consequences. Let's say Bitcoin continues increasing adoption, increasing scarcity awareness, increasing institutional exposure, and you sit on the sidelines for another 5, 10, 15 years. What happens? You didn't avoid risk. You took the risk of missing one of the biggest financial shifts in modern history. And here's the part that stings. It won't feel like a mistake right away. You'll be sitting on your 3% savings account and feel like your money's absolutely safe sitting there, right? And it'll feel fine until that mistake becomes obvious. So now let's flip the lens. Instead of asking, is Bitcoin risky? Ask, what problem is Bitcoin solving? Bitcoin exists because money gets printed endlessly. Savings get diluted. Trust in systems erodes. Bitcoin offers a fixed supply. Only 21 million, and we know some of those have already been lost. No central authority, borderless access, and self-custody. And yeah, it's volatile, but when you zoom out far enough, you see a different pattern. It trends towards preserving purchasing power. So now the real question becomes, would you rather face short-term volatility or long-term certainty of losing value? Because, as we pointed out, if that money's just sitting in your savings account, it is 100% losing value against the cost of goods. And Bitcoin, on the other hand, over its lifetime, has gained immense purchasing power rather than losing bits of its value constantly. So now let's talk about the dad perspective here, right? This is where it gets real. Because if you're a dad, you're not just investing for fun. You're making decisions that affect your family's stability, your kids' future, your time, and your freedom. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Playing it safe might not actually protect them at all. If your plan can't keep up with reality, then it's not a plan, it's just hope. And hope is not something you build a family on. So ask yourself, what happens if your current path falls short? What happens if costs outpace your income forever? What happens if you need options and don't have them? So now, I'm not talking about extremes here, right? I'm not talking about taking all of your life savings and putting it into Bitcoin or crypto or whatever. And, maybe you want to do that, maybe you don't. But this is definitely not about those extremes. It's not sell everything. It's not go all in. It's definitely not become a trader. It's really about awareness and intentional action. So in my opinion, here's the best way to start. Educate yourself first. Understand Bitcoin beyond headlines. Then get exposure. Even a small allocation can change your trajectory. And when I say get exposure, the best bet for you might just be to dollar cost average, start buying $100 worth of Bitcoin every week if you can, and just let it just constantly buy. And you'll be buying the dips and the highs, but everything will average out over time. And if you look at the Bitcoin trajectory, that tends to be a very good plan. Number 3, think long term. Zoom out. Don't think in days, think in years. Maybe not even years, think in decades. Because when you look at the long term, Bitcoin starts to make a whole hell of a lot of sense. And the most important, stay consistent. It isn't about timing, it's about positioning. And that gets us back to that dollar cost averaging. If you're consistently adding small positions, they can add up hugely over time. So guys, the next time someone says crypto is just too risky, don't argue. Just ask, compared to what? Because the biggest risk is not volatility. It's slowly losing and calling it safety. Crypto isn't necessarily risky, but living your entire life without it might just be. Thanks for tuning in, guys. And if you got anything out of this, don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with a friend who might find some value in it as well. Till next time, see you guys. The material and information presented in this recording are for entertainment purposes only. Do not misconstrue what you hear as investment or trading advice. Always do your own research. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed by the guests on this recording are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of Dad's Gone Crypto or its hosts.